Hi everyone, my name is Andrew, and today I'll be interviewing my good friend, teammate Sean, who has successfully purchased his private property at the age of 27. Let's start first thing first.
What's up, man?
Hey, you got money to buy, man? You only work for 1 year.
No money lah, where got money? It was about 1.4 mil.
So maybe you can share with us like what made you want to buy it and how do you go about it?
I answered the second part first lah.
Sure.
How did we manage to do it? So right off the bat, right, I think we can be very candid and honest that this is we view it as a shared family investment. So it's co-funded by myself and my parents, right? So I do not intend to use this as my matrimonial home or really move into it, right? It's more of for very practical reasons. It's for investment, to be very honest. And so the story is that my parents just turned 55 this year. So after factoring their BRS and everything else, we have some sum of money that we can take out. So then using that, we managed to go for the down payment, and then like with whatever I have as well lah. So we decided to put money into this investment together lah.
Okay. How about the loan side? Yeah, okay lah.
Oh yeah, right. So we managed to take a max loan, 75% loan, right? Because while doing this, actually I'm also employed by my family business. We run a corporate secretary and accounting firm. Yeah. So if you guys need any help, starting a company or doing your accounts, actually you can call me as well, right? So with that, there is a fixed or those so-called declared income that I have from there, right? So from there I could work out my loan. But for sure, like you said, they are not paying. My father is not Elon Musk lah. He's not paying me crazy money. So we actually didn't have the enough money to get max loan. Basically, my loan amount very very pathetic. Like it's only like 500 plus K.
Well, like how to buy, yeah.
So then there are different techniques that we employed to do these kind of things, right? So what I did was called pledging, and pledging basically is to show funds in the form of a fixed deposit to the bank. So just to ensure that they know that you're good for the money right? So because in Singapore we have this TDSR thing, it's recently just been revised to 55%, right, from 60%. So it basically means that you can only use up to 55% of your income to pay for your debts, like your credit card, cars, and house included, right? So in order to raise your TDSR limit, in order to take more loan, right, you have to do pledging, right? So every 100K you put in fixed deposit actually generates about $2,000 of income for you. Yeah, so we did that. We put a little bit of fixed D, and that's how I get my loan.
Okay. Then how about those like self-employed or they are running their own business? Right. How does the calculation works?
So actually, this is a good way for people who I don't want to say cash rich. Later you all think I'm very rich. They do have some cash. So for people like artists or musician, or even if you want to buy a house under your child's name, a lot of people are doing that now. Yeah. So to answer your question, for self-employed people, how they do it, right? Actually, self-employed people are very very. It gets difficult for them because the first year, right? Actually, their income, they have to take a 50% haircut on their income. That means if you earn 10K a month and that's your first year of being self-employed, right? They will take a 50%. That means your income is only 5,000, right? Then you take another 55% of that. It's actually quite little. And second year onwards, it goes up to 70%. They got a haircut because self-employed, naturally you wouldn't be as safe as a full-time employment. And that's how the bank looks at it. But that's one good way to do it, like honestly, because my name is very expensive. Right, I'm a Singaporean. We have to flex that. Maybe you don't put that in, but no. But we have the privilege of purchasing your first home without paying ABSD, and that in December they raised ABSD rates again.
Wow, that's all.
Correct. So it's 17%, bro. Right, so we don't even need to talk about much, and 17% really just throw to the government, throw in the sea, that kind of one.
I mean, right? It's like you pay 1 mil and then 170K is gone.
Yeah, right, straight up it's gone. Yeah. So I would say my name is expensive, and therefore, I think Singaporeans, we have the privilege of owning a home, and therefore actually really a lot of people are even buying home in their children's name. because it just makes more sense than paying ABSD lah, for sure.
Why now? Like why do you decide? What was the thing that pulled the trigger?
Why not? Because it's an investment lah, right? So maybe before answering that, right, maybe I just tell you that, so okay, I have to circle back to this pledging thing lah, right? Pledging is essentially putting cash with the bank, right? And so, in terms of investment, when you look at it, actually a lot of people nowadays look at it. You know how much is the fixed D interest rate?
How much is it?
It's 0.5% for 3 years. But you have to put it for 4 years lah. So 0.5% is very pathetic, you know. But I think it makes sense for us because my parents have aged lah, right? They're not super young. So to them, I think it makes sense because they don't want to take on the risk that's associated with equities, stocks, or even like Bitcoin, this kind of thing, right? So for them, retaining this sum of cash with the bank without putting that much risk, and then still have the still can enjoy owning a private property. I think that was attractive for our situation, right? So yeah, so that's just something that I want to add. Why buy now?
Yeah.
That's a really good question. Maybe I'll just continue with this story that I'm telling.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So, I'm a property agent, we are both property agents, right? So we do look at the market every damn day. It's like day in, day out, we look at who transacted what, who bought what's the price, what's the news. Every day there's property news for sure, and it's our job to look at it. Right, so then one day, I just thought like maybe I bring my parents to see a project or two because that's my job, and I think it's quite fun to see.
So you wanted with the intention to close your parents?
No,
Or ask your parents buy for you?
Not so much buy for me, but like, because we didn't grow up rich exactly,
Okay.
My dad is the kind that will say, if last time I buy this, now we already bought already,
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the fact is that we didn't, right? So, and I how to say, I can't blame them for that. That's just because of like our family condition. It's not that we didn't want to, we just couldn't do it, right? So I think at the back of their mind, they, with all these regrets and all these things, then there's always like a hidden kind of desire to do something like that, to own a private property. I think that's a dream for many Singaporeans, in fact, right? So, so I decided to bring them to see, some projects. At the same time, I know that they have some cash flow coming up from CPF. Yeah, for sure. So we were just like 看就好啦, you know. Yeah, but then at the end, we saw 2-3 projects. Then my mom asked me, say, "Hey boy, so 讲啊，那个屋子讲，你讲什么？我那里有钱，什么怎样？"
Yeah. Which projects you see? Don't mind sharing. Like maybe just one or something.
Right. So initially we saw Normanton Park.
Okay.
Normanton Park. Wow, I tell you, bro, the market is crazy.
Yeah, that's
right?
actually.
The market is crazy, but for our viewers also, the market is so crazy now. When we look at Normanton Park, right? It was a Friday.
Okay.
So Friday, I told Peggy, I said, hey, I want to bring my parents to come and see Normanton Park. We're probably just looking at one bidders as of now. Because like budget is considered.
How much was the budget actually?
Budget was actually about 1.2.
Okay.
The initial budget was 1.2. Yeah. So then like Normanton Park, 1 bedroom. We just go and see first lah. So at the point of time, not many left. There were about 16 units, I think. So 8 like normal units and 8 like those kind of loft or high ceiling or penthouse kind of units lah. But 1 bedroom, right? So Friday, I called Peggy. I said, I'm gonna bring my parents, come down. We're gonna take a look at the project, and maybe we're gonna get something. I don't know, right? But with an open mind, I just want to see the project because it's a nice project, no doubt, right? So we went there on Monday. That means 3 days later. 他跟我讲，只有7间 loft 剩7间. That means right within that weekend, right, all the 8 other normal units were all sold out already.
Yeah, and you were shortlisting right at the time. Yeah. You actually wanted to get it there.
Yeah. Then personally lah, as an investment, I have doubts over 1 bedroom plus loft, because 1 bedroom by itself is not super easy to to make that. Just because of the quantum, right? You don't get that much meat. Even if like 500 square feet, you earn 100 per square feet. You know how much is the quantum is less lah, right? So bigger units give you more meat in a sense, and then. Because for loft units, you even pay for the airspace, right? I mean, it could be good if you enjoy the lifestyle, or if you were to build a, you know, something, it might help. But to me, I think at that point of time, we were just looking anyway. Right? So not much commitments. I was more interested in the normal units. But anyway, then there was that lah. Yeah, then I think they had quite a lot of fun going to show flats because every show flat is impressive. It's nice.
Yeah, for sure. The interior all damn nice.
Yeah. No developer will do show flat to one. Right, show flat must be nice,
yeah.
Right. So then, I think the next best one that we have, but this one is really, really just for fun, really, because it'll be 1.2 is our limit. I did the calculation.
Yep.
Right. Then we went to Verticus, which is the project that I chose in the end, Verticus at Balestier.
You bought a 2-bedder, right?
Yeah, I bought a 6, 7, 8 square feet, 2-bedroom plus 1-bedroom unit at Verticus at Balestier.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went there with, initially I shortlisted these 2 projects for them, but I know that this one is like out of budget, but I think, you know, if you're considering this is one of the ones.
But one is 99 and one is a freehold lah.
Correct, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, after we saw Normanton Park, actually my mother said, "This is freehold leh."
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I said, yeah, actually the next one that I'm gonna bring you, I mean it's a bit more expensive, but I think it's still quite cool. We can go and take a look first. It was that kind of mentality that we went in with lah.
Yeah.
So then my mom said freehold. I said, yeah, the next one that I'm gonna see is freehold. I think we'll be quite interested. Yeah.
During the whole process, like before you finally selected Verticus, right? The whole process, was it like, I mean, because it's also your first property, right?
Right.
So was the process like, you know, was it fun to go property hunting together, or was it stressful? Like bring us through the emotions also lah.
Wow. Actually, it's not easy. I mean, because it's our job, we do it day in and day out, right? So, but now you're on the flip side. So I think this experience, you know, even if we bought, but even if we didn't buy, I think it was a very valuable process because, like, from an agent's shoe, I stepped into a buyer's shoes.
Yeah, and wanted to ask you.
Yeah, exactly, and it's really not easy to decide on a commitment like this. It's not easy for me, it's not easy for the buyers for sure. And for me it's not easy because this is my job, right? So I have to do a good job.
Yeah, for sure.
And on the other hand, more seriously, right, it's like, you know, I'm
it's your parents' money also.
Exactly. I'm I'm making a commitment to their retirement plans. Yeah. So that in itself actually put in a lot of pressure for me to make the right decision. Yeah, so I didn't take it lightly at all. It was very stressful, especially like from starting 看爽 until you know my mom asked me, you know, so how is it?
Yeah.
They were more keen than me. They were pushing to close me. Yeah. In a sense. Yeah. So that was. I mean, it's fun, no doubt, because we do this, you know, day in day out. But you know, I think this experience really make me understand and feel the shoes of the buyers.
For sure, I think it's definitely confirmed damn stressful lah. I mean, this is not cheap lah. It's probably be one of the biggest purchase in your life lah. So like personally, I don't believe like, you know, just selling with emotions. For like sure. Really like you really use the logical, the rational mind, you know. After going through all the numbers, the market sentiments, using the actual data and figure to, you know, finally make a right decision. Some of yours is for investment, ma.
Yeah, and that's what we do, ma. We go through the whole process before we do that for our clients as well, ma.
Yeah.
We go through their, you know, their needs and preference first. Then we go through their budget. We do their IPA. We calculate, you know, what's comfortable for them and what's not, right? So then from there we can shortlist. From there we can really shortlist the, you know, which areas you like, you know, how big the size you want, and all these things, right? And then, you know, thereafter we can zoom into different districts or different areas that you are more interested in. Because if someone that stays in the east and they want to buy a property for investment, obviously they will be more comfortable with something in the east. Although actually you should be looking at the numbers, because you're an investor.
Yeah.
But you know, then we do that. Then you know, we go into your district. Then we go into the master plan, the macro analysis of that area, the district. You know, whether is it west of central region, you know, or outside central region. Regional analysis down to master plan analysis, down to even district analysis. How are the surrounding projects doing so far, etc. How are the rentals? What are transacted? How is the trend moving, right? And then if that makes sense, then we'll move on to the next stage, which is to zoom in on projects itself, right? Then projects itself, we do another round of analysis, right? We analyze which stacks are good, facing, sun, traffic, whatever. A lot of things actually is much tougher than people might imagine. Even property agent just 给他们看而已嘛. But it's actually not so simple. Yeah, so even right down to that, right? Which are the best stacks? This floor how much? One floor upstairs how much? One floor downstairs how much?
Yeah.
All these things come into play before we eventually select a unit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we do go through that process with all clients as well, right?
Yeah. So I mean, you bought your mom, say verticals, they bought, is it cost of freehold, is it? So I mean, let's compare right? So does that mean freehold better than the 99 condos?
This one is age-old questions, bro.
I mean, since we are already,
yeah, so 99 but freehold always better than 99. I mean, if you were to take a look at it, plain and simple, freehold 99. Obviously, plain and simple, freehold is definitely better because of the least depreciation and the prestige of holding a freehold title. That the government already don't give out any freehold. The only way you're gonna get freehold is you buy over from someone else or en bloc or these kind of things, right? So right off the bat, freehold is better, simply saying, right? But there's always a but, Better things is always, the econs is very powerful, bro, right? And econs. You balance out the benefits with price and therefore freehold tends to be more expensive, and it just makes sense because the seller that sell you the freehold is not stupid, not come gong.
I mean, they will price usually a developer will also price it like maybe 15 to 20%.
Correct.
More expensive than 99.
Right. So that is priced in, right? And then. Right, so then comes to depreciation because 99 when it reaches zero, technically it reaches zero, but we haven't reached that stage yet, right? But you have to know that, okay, so you're saying that developers price in 15 to 20% higher, right? But if you look at the lease depreciation table, on paper at least, on paper, the depreciation for the first 10 years is actually super low as compared to the premium that you buy into for the freehold. And therefore, actually, if you look at transactions, we can show you transactions, and actually a lot of people that earn money through property actually come from 99-year leasehold properties. Just because you have to hold it for that much longer for the freehold value to really, come up much higher than the 99 years.
Takes a longer time,
Yeah, for sure. So if your investment horizon is also one of the other things that we have to consider when you are choosing 99 or freehold So. Yeah, but older folks tend to prefer freehold properties. I think there's also another thing about freehold that I wouldn't say it's a misconception, but maybe a bit right? That is that you will be there forever.
Not really.
Yeah, exactly. That's not true, right? And because to me, property has like two sides of things. One is the intrinsic value and one is the extrinsic value. So to say in simple terms, right? So land is the one that grows in value.
Yep.
Correct? Land, your surrounding land. But your property itself, the walls, the pipes, everything, it all depreciates. No matter whether you're freehold or not, right? These things get older and they do depreciate. And until a certain point, when it is, no longer financially feasible to keep it up, or if the URA has new plans that we can build higher or more, then en bloc happen. That's how en bloc happen, right? And they do usually happen around the 40-year age. So. I mean, technically, yes, you own a freehold, you kind of do own it forever, but that usually doesn't happen, especially for condos. Maybe landed, you still have a chance because you can tear down yourself and rebuild. But condos, freehold, I wouldn't say it's bad because then I'll be slapping myself in the face. But there are certain trade-offs to a freehold and a condo for sure.
Sure. Okay. So, I mean, do you consider resale or not? Or because Verticals is a new launch condo, right? Do you consider any resale condo also during your shortlisting?
Not really, because we are investors, right? That means that there's tiny chance that I'm going to stay there. We want to rent, we want to sell, right? And based on our research and everything, based on our knowledge, basically, right? We find that new projects tend to do better for investors, because this is not a hard and fast rule, right? So simply to put it, usually I explain to my friends, because now got a lot of tech bros. I just tell them, you just look at it at NFTs, right? NFTs are, I'm not an NFT project, but I'm not an NFT expert. So if I say something wrong, you have to forgive me, right? But I think NFTs work in a way that, they have projects, right? And then when you buy it when you're an early kind of buyer for the project, you're known as minting it, right? So, now looking back, a lot of people want to mint a successful project like the monkey one or something like that, right? So why? Because, when the project is successful, then they can usually make the most profits out of it. So I think to us it's the same thing, we look at projects, right? If it's a good project, we want to be the first mover or the early mover to go in, then once it gets successful, we get the profits out of there. So I think Singapore properties, we tend to follow this trend, right? That, the prices start out, then they will kind of peak at TOP, and then they will eventually stabilize. And the reason for this is because, at the early stage, you're only buying from one person, which is the developer, right? And you do take on a lot of risks as well, right? So I say, economics is trumps everything, right? Because when you take on this risk, for example, if the developer told, if they cannot complete on time, they cannot finish the unit, then they have to do a fire sale, etc., etc. These are all risks that early buyers have to take, right? And they should get rewarded for this risk upon TOP. And upon TOP, why does the price go up? Other than this reason, is because when you can get something brand new, then you don't turn. Then you can even go in to see the unit, smell the paint, all these things, right? So typically, the price will peak, and then thereafter, mine is a freehold, but for 99 years, when you're in the resale market, lease decay comes in, your physical decay, like we mentioned just now, comes in, renovations come in, so that might not be so good, but at the same time, MRTs might come in. But I think at the end of the day, it's just too much uncertainty in terms of getting a resale. So we didn't really consider that.
I see. I mean, to add on to that point also, let's say the developer sell at, let's say, 1 mil, for example.
Yeah.
Then let's say I buy at 1 mil. Then you want to buy, you're a resale buyer. Then I sell you at 1.4 million.
Correct.
So if you're looking for investment, let's say, after staying for a few years, how much would you want to plan to sell it, for example?
Yeah, maybe I'll sell for 1.7 because I also want to earn money. Yeah. When you buy property, you want to earn money.
Sure. Yeah. So, your risk is, because definitely there'll be some other buyers, they bought it at 1 mil.
Sellers,
sorry, they bought it at 1 mil.
Yeah.
But they haven't sold yet,
Correct.
for example. Correct. So in order, let's say you market at, let's say, 1.7 mil.
Yeah.
But then I bought at 1 mil. Then now I want to sell at 1.5, 1.6. Then I don't think you're able to hit that.
You're more competitive from another buyer's perspective.
Yeah.
They can get a better price. We are similar units, so why not get yours than mine, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's right. For resale, profits are being creamed off by the first owner, and therefore we want to be the first owner.
I see. Okay. So just for the last question, let's say if I'm a buyer now, for example, looking for, let's say, investment purposes, what will you advise me?
I advise you to take an action and get something that you can, I guess, because it's not going to be easy for sure. It's a big commitment. Right? It's not easy unless you are, unless you're Elon Musk or something. Right? It's not an easy commitment, but age-old saying, people always say, don't try to time the market, because I think the past few years, people keep waiting for price to drop due to a lot of reasons, all the way, since Trump get elected, then say, wow, this young guy will become US president, it's gonna happen. Then after that, they fight with the Trump-Kim summit, that kind of things, and thereafter we have COVID for sure. Then now we have Ukraine-Russia war, right? So these are all things that has happened, and things will continue to happen. There will still be problems going around the world, but price never drop, right? So I don't think that timing the market kind of works that well, right? And moving forward, because we have seen recent land sales, right? So recent land sales do show that upcoming prices will be more crazy. I bought Vertical's RCR freehold at about 2,000-ish PSF. So Piccadilly Grand is going to launch tomorrow, right? So that's a 99-year, also RCR, although I mean it's nearer to MRT, but general things, you look at it, then you see how much PSF they're going to sell. I'm thinking maybe about average 2002 PSF. So that's where prices are going to head to next time lah. And one good reason why we can know this for quite a certainty is because once the land bid, because land is the biggest fixed cost in every development. Right? It takes about 40%, if I'm not wrong, of the whole entire development cost. Right? So once land is being set, we have matrix, because once land is being set, you know how many units they're going to build, etc., based on URA's planning and everything, right? So from there we can estimate even construction costs and all this. So we can estimate how much the PSF launch price will be in the future, and developers are not stupid lah. They have analysts that work around the clock. They have really zai analysts lah to make sure that they earn money, because they must earn money. That's their job. They have investors to answer to. Right, so a project is such a big commitment that if they screw up one project, right, they can really tow one, because we're talking about $1 billion here, like really $1 billion, right? So yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying that we are buying one unit at a time. Developers are buying one plot of land. That means they're buying like 500 units they're committing to 500 units at a time. So that's the difference in risk. And if they are confident to do it, I don't see why we shouldn't be confident. Although, again, it's not an easy commitment, right? We have to really work out everything to make sure that it suits you, right? So again, when you come and talk to us, if you have any question, you come and talk to us, we will go through the whole process, right? Right from your needs and preferences to your budget. We'll do an IPA calculation to make sure that you have the holding power and you won't buy just because you're buying. Anyway, it's $1 million. I cannot just hard sell you anyway, right? So you have to do that calculations, and then macro conditions and planning, region kind of analysis, district analysis, surrounding area, how much are they going for, rental, and these kind of things. And then eventually within a project, so project analysis, which are the stacks that we want to go for before choosing a unit. But I still think that if you are someone looking for a home, the most important decision is to make one.
Anyway, congrats, bro. I think It's damn impressive to own a private property at the age of 27. So we come to an end, and this is Andrew.
I'm Sean.
If you like this kind of long form content, do reach out to us to give us your feedback, like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.